Well, hey everybody, welcome to Fingerstyle Guitar 4E. Tonight we're going to do a couple of bars into the second part of this song. So I think there's really kind of two pieces to the second part of this. And so we're going to hit the bar chords as the first part, and then we'll come back down here in the open chord position, and we'll do that piece in Fingerstyle Guitar 4F, okay? But tonight I think we just need to kind of focus on where we're going here, okay? So I think the best way to do this is kind of run through it and then kind of go into the lead in of where we're going to this bar chords, where we finished off last time. Yeah, it's been a little bit since we uploaded a video, but with all the holidays and everything, I thought it'd be better to do some other videos. Give everybody time to work on that, because the first part of this song, because if you're new to fingerstyle, and we're forever targeting folks that are learning or trying to learn how to do fingerstyle, you need to know where every finger's going when that's happening. I can't count on the fact that somebody's going to be able to hear it and just go right there. There are many proficient guitarists on this channel, and proficient fingerstyle guitarists on this channel, by the way. But there's a lot of folks that are trying to learn how to do fingerstyle. So when I started doing this, I had to count on my ears drastically, because well, it wasn't exactly clear where everybody was putting their fingers on these channels I was going to. And sometimes they'd go, make an A minor 6 augmented, and I'd be, I don't know, you just give me another drink. That's all I got to say about that. I have to see or be told where to put these fingers. Now, I know what a G is, and a G7, and a D, a bar chord D down here, and a D, a D7. There's a D7, right? And those are the two we're going to use tonight, by the way, or the G7. Just make a G and then lift that little finger and make your bar chord for your D. But instead of doing that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you where your fingers go to make this actual chord. So for those of you that's not done it, it is make your bar with your forefinger, and then on your number 1 string is held down by your forefinger over here, and your number 2 string has your little finger on it, and that's on your number 5 fret, and then your number 3 string is covered over here again by this bar, and then your number 4 string is covered with your ring finger, okay? And then your number 5 and number 6 are covered by this bar, all right? And if I look over here occasionally, just forgive me till I get used to the camera being in front of me instead of on top of that laptop, okay? But those are the two chords we're going to use. We're going to use this one, your G7, kind of a G7 shape here. And we're going to use this D7 shape right here. Did I say D? Sorry. C7 shape here. Okay? And your G7. But it's a different way to make a G7, I suppose. Okay? So anyway, those are the two chords. So now you know where the fingers go just to make those chords. Now this little finger is going to do a little work on both these chords, and that's where we're going to walk through it pretty slow. And then coming out of the first part into this second part, there's a timing thing that has to go off in your head. Okay, either that or you need a metronome or something if you're not good with that sort of thing. I would like to tell you where this happens in the beat, but I don't think I can. I just kind of know where it goes. And what I'm talking about is when you transition out of that part 1. So if we started here, for example, And that's what I'm talking about right there, is that knowing how it flows out of there. And the only way I can think of to do that, if you don't have a natural rhythm about you while you're playing your guitar, is rewind this a little bit to that spot. I just did that. And then you can kind of hear it where you're supposed to come up and go. Okay? That's the only guidance I can give you there to come out of part one. I wish I could give you better guidance, but I'm not a music teacher. And I've already talked about my knowledge of time. I hear something, I get a general idea what the time should be. I think I'm halfway decent at that. Halfway decent might not be the right word, but there's something natural there that guides me to it. You know what I mean? So if you don't have that, get a metronome. And then just start counting as you do this. And just start counting and get an understanding of where those beats are. That way you will know when you're supposed to transition into that part two. So one of the things I did there was I made an F sharp 7. That's an F, right? And just raise that little finger up. You got a F7. Slide it up one, and you got an F sharp 7. Okay. Yeah, and then I think that's a chord. If it's not, then it's a G flat 7. I don't know what it is, but it's in between F and G fret. So what I do is take my nail here on my forefinger, and I just do that. I rake down on it, okay? And I go, and when I move up, I pick up that bass note, that number 6 bass note, with my thumb. Then I pinch 4 and 1. So the way that works out is you sliding up, you pick up number 4, you pinch 6 and 1. Just in that shape right there, okay? I don't have my little finger down. Once you do that, pinch 6 and 4, pick up number 1 or the number 2 string, pick up number 6, pick up number 1 again, and pick up number 4 bass note. Nope, told you wrong. Yeah. Yeah. 4 and 1. Pick up number 2. Pick up number 6. Pick up number 1. Pick up number 4. Just like that. We hadn't even used that little finger yet. Okay, so now we're going to put our little finger to use here. All right. So when you slide up into that, now you're going to lay that little finger down on that number 6 fret, number 1 string. And you're going to go back and forth between your number 1 and number 2 string. Your number 2 is fretted right here with this open, with this bar right here. Okay? So you've got this chord made. You're going to pinch 6 and 1 with your little finger on fret number 6. Pick up on number 2. Strike number 4. Let me see. Yeah. So you're going to slide into it. Six, one. Pinching 6 and 1. Pick up on number 2. Strike number 4. And then strike number 4, bass note. So we'll walk through this again as soon as my hand unlocks. Holding that bar chord for a while just kind of does something to the back of your muscles in your hand. I'm sure I don't have to explain that to you. Sorry, I keep looking over here for the same reason. It'll take me a day or two to get used to this new camera position. Okay, just like that. 6 and 1. Pick up on number 2. Strike number 4. Slide your little finger down to that number 5 fret, number 1 string. Come up and strike your number 6 bass note. Lift it, pick up on number 1, and then strike number 4. Okay? Okay, once you do that with that G7 shape, you're going to pinch number 5 bass note. You're going to go to this C7 that we made up here on the bar. Remember, C. And now lift that finger and put your little finger on that number 2 string like we talked about a minute ago. And that's your C7, okay? Instead of doing this, you're using these 2 fingers. And the way you're going to come into this is pick up number 5, pinch 4 and 1. So it's 5, 4, 6, right? Pick up on number 2, strike number 4. So once we get into this C7 shape, you're going to go just like this. Strike number 5, pinch 4 and number 1. Five, pinch 4 and 1. Pick up on number 2 where you have your little finger on that number 5 fret, number 2 string. Once you pick up on that number 2 string, you're going to strike that number 6 bass note, because the bass line in this C chord is 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, okay? Number 5, pinch 4 and 1. Pick up on number 2, strike number 6. Five, number 5 bass note, 4 and 1, pick up on number 2, pick up on number 1, pick up on number 1 again, strike number 4. Just like that. Okay? All right? Then you're going to, the last note you hit was that number 4 bass note. So you're going to be on number 5 bass note. And you're going to take that little finger and you're going to put it down on the 5th fret, number 1 string, and you're going to pinch 5 and 1, and you're going to move that little finger up to number 6 fret. And then you're going to strike the number 4 bass note. Lift it and strike that number 6 bass note. And lay it back down on the number 2 string in its original position. And last note you hit was number 6, so the last note you did there, I went to number 4 bass note. Now I look like one of those cartoons where my fingers are all like this. So, and the reason is because when you hold that chord for such a long time, some of this fingerstyle, so if you're relatively new to it and you think, well, you know, I can't really do that, kind of hurts my hand. Yeah, some of these do hurt your hand until you've done it and done it and done it and done it. And then eventually it's like anything else, you kind of build a little bit. The only thing I've never been able to do, and I wished I could, and maybe I will at some point if I stay after it, is keeping that little finger a little more straight instead of looking like I've had all these fingers broken when I'm playing. That little finger should be fairly straight up on that fret, and they can do it, but you have to train it to do it, you know. And I've not really trained mine to do that. If I can squeeze the note out of it, I don't really care what my finger looks like. But it does allow, if you can hold it straight on the fret, it will allow you to do more things with it. You can have more control over it. The more control you can have over these fingers, the better off you're going to be in fingerstyle. Now, I told you before, my goals are like a lot of other people's goals. I just want to be able to play some. And maybe that's where you're at. I'm not going to do this for a living. I don't want to do this for a living. I don't think I do because, yeah, no, I definitely don't want to do it for a living. I'd starve to death, okay? But for many of you, or several of you, I know for a fact do this for a living. You play, and you know what that takes. It takes picking one of these things up every day and playing it pretty much all day long. And that is how you get good at something. But you can get semi-good at something. You don't have to play it all day long, but you need to dedicate some time to it. So, again, I'm gonna pick this out really slowly on this C7 that we're doing here. Pick up 5, pick up 4 and 1, pick up number 2, then pick up number 6 bass note, pick up number 1, finished up a 4, so what's the next bass note? Number 5, because we went from 6 to 4. Now we're going to go from 5 to 4 to 6 to 4 to 5 to 4, right? Now we're on our number 5 bass note now for that slide. We're going to slide up to that number 6 fret, number 1 string. That is number 1 and number 4. Yeah. So when we lift that little finger, first we go. There's that number 4 bass note. Then we lift the little finger, pick up number 6 and number 1. The last note we hit was 6, so the next one's 4. And we're going to stop there tonight. Now I'm going to walk all the way up through those 2 bar chords right there. If you can make the bar chords and you have some control over this little finger by this point, then this may not take you quite as long to really get good at. But as you practice this fingerstyle stuff, take it all the way up to where our last lesson was and work on that, okay? And you'll get better. I promise you, you'll get better. And the one thing about the way we've done these fingerstyle lessons is you can go to any video series and you can go to number 1, you can go to number 4, you can go to number 2, you can go to number 3. It doesn't matter. We're starting from the premise that people are learning fingerstyle for the first time, so we're going to do it rather slowly. So it doesn't matter. The series are not progressive in okay, well, you had to do the first 3 to do number 4 series, okay? That's not the case. We do have a few more, maybe a little more complex songs that we're gonna do as we get a little further along, but we're gonna work those as if you've never done fingerstyle before, so that we're pointing out every string, every bass note. From time to time, you're gonna notice that I'll say number 6, and what I meant was number 1, number 6 fret. I don't think I made that mistake tonight, but a lot of times I'll review it and I'll see it and I go, I can't believe I did that. But it's pretty obvious, and hopefully you've caught on by that point. All right, folks, so we'll start this thing from the very beginning and work our way up through those part 2, those two bar chords that we did. And we'll call it a night. I'm doing this video on January the 2nd, so hopefully a lot of people were off today. They got the day off, and I know I'm starting back next week. I'm sure it's going to be quite busy kicking the year off. Probably will be for everybody else as well, but hopefully it'll be a really good year for everybody. So I suspect it'll be what you make of it, right? All right, so, and I'm sure everybody on this channel will make the very best of it. So we'll take it all the way up. From the very beginning all the way to through those 2 bar chords, and then we'll stop there, okay? And we'll call it right there, okay? It takes quite a bit of practice to pull this off as smoothly as possible. And I obviously have not pulled this off as smoothly as possible. But I don't think I've worked on this song since the last time we did this. And this is one of those songs you have to do fairly regularly to get a good grip of it. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and we'll call it a night, and then in 4F we'll wrap up part 2, and then we'll start thinking about part 3. Okay. Anyway, you'll notice we didn't feature anybody tonight because I started those featured videos, and I think I'm going to move those to that, at least until I stop doing those, at which point I may bring it back into featuring somebody in the fingerstyle. It's nothing personal. It's just it takes time to dig through those videos and find what you want to put up that you think people would really enjoy seeing, and the various talents that are out there. And there's only so much time in a day, and I have a day job, so I do the best I can with those featured. And it was kind of nice and easier when I was just putting one into a fingerstyle video and featuring somebody, because you can get a year's supply pretty quickly, if especially with all the talent that's out on YouTube. But I think I'll save those for the featured videos, and we'll do them that way because there's some fantastic talent out there, and I actually have fun doing that one. It's really great to see what some people are doing, and a lot of these people will never do anything other than what they're doing on YouTube. And I don't know that a lot of these people want to do more than what they're doing on YouTube. Some do, but some folks just really enjoy singing and they just happen to be phenomenal at it. But they like whatever else it is they're doing in their life. It's priorities, right? So with that, I think we'll stick with featuring folks to the featured videos. So if you've not seen those, featured number 1, featured number 2, featured number 3, and there'll be a featured number 4 here in a week or two. I love doing those, and I think I have run across some people that are just phenomenal on YouTube. And so I encourage you to watch those if you haven't seen those yet, okay? Windy and warm, folks. We'll be back with 4F here in a week or two, and we'll finish part 2 up, and we'll move on to part 3. Part 3 may take a few. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned something from it. And don't let your hand get the best of you, okay? Just stick with it. If it gets to hurting too bad, just take a little break and then come back to it, okay? But don't give up on it. All right? Take care of your friends. Take care of your family. God bless. We'll see you next time.